I'm going to divide this shape into 5, and we're going to do this without a protractor, just by eye, just to, again, so we're not too exact. It could be 5, could be 6, could be any number you like. And this overall shape can be flatter here, more rounded here. So these are all things you can vary, the size of this, the depth of this, and so on. So I divided it into 5 petals, and then I'm going to just run my line with the V tool down the middle, right down into the center like this. So that's my petals. I'll leave those over there because I'll be in the way of the camera. From here, what I'll do is I'll actually get the outside of the petals. So I'm going to create, picking up that line, I'm going to just cut away the tips like this. So we've got so I've now got the shape of the petal. And again, this can be tight, it can come right in here like this. This one could actually overlap. Let me just do this again for you. So this one here could overlap that petal there, so that this line could come down here like this, so that this petal here is underneath this one at the back there. So we could do that sort of thing. So again, try different options here. So the first thing to do then is just go around and separate all the petals. Make sure that you know what is doing what. Here we have the main shape worked out. Notice that when you're cutting these corners in here, you're left, or could be left, with this little piece here, which is a bit like a sepal on a flower. So if this was flatter and you left little bits here in the middle, you could have something like a dog rose. But we're not going to do that in this carving. And what's next really, and the last thing we need to do, is actually texture and sort out these surfaces, give them some life. So our options are really about where we remove wood. So for example, if I remove wood here, then that lets this bit of the carving stick out. If I remove wood in 2 places, like here and here, then I can let the middle bit stick out. And if I come along here, I can let a sort of curved bit stick out. And I can also scoop in some of this shape here. So I don't need to have a flat edge. So I could come up here and I could round this one over like this. Perhaps make a little bit more of that corner. So this one, say, is like just now a little bit curved here, a bit more there. So what I'm going to do is just work my way over the surfaces, and I think 1/4 inch 6mm tools are quite good to use, and just start modelling these surfaces, see what happens. So making my cuts head down towards the middle all the time, like so. Start taking wood away and making these surfaces more interesting. So I could do that even more here, a little bit more of a scoop there. and then merge that in over here. And then the junction between petals here, I would make tighter, and with a flat gouge as opposed to a chisel, I'd make this slightly open. You see, so there's a slight curve there, which I think is a little more interesting than a straight line. Right down into the bottom there, and even making that quite tight perhaps with a deeper gouge on this side, perhaps a bit over here. So that's what I'm going to work around the petals, and I'm either going to take wood away on two sides, or I might take away wood in the middle, or I might take away wood on one side, and I might take away wood at the top, in the middle, or on one side. And using those various combinations, I'll get the petals to look a little bit different, a bit more interesting. So keep ringing the changes, make sure all the cuts go down into the bottom. Here's the flower at the end of this stage. I've made sure that the petals, the separation of the petals goes right to the hub in the middle here with a skew chisel. I've also added a few strong lines with a little narrow deep gouge here, like this, right at the bottom. And if I wanted to, I could stipple this, with that punch we used before, or just with a point like this, I could go in and stipple that. So I could do something with this. I've also got a nice clean edge, and I think you can, well, I hope you can see that some edges are scooped, some are rounded over like this. But I've got an actual sharp edge. So the next stage is just to go around and undercut the edges here. So the undercutting in this case is just about the normal 20 degrees, just to show this edge. So with the tool at an angle, I'm going to cut this up to the line like so, and bring that line around here. Swap tools to this one. It's a bit of a tighter curve. Around here. And then I'm just going to clean this up here, out of the way, because this is just a practice piece. You don't need to worry about that junction too much. It's really just to get a sense of how these petals look when they're relieved. And of course, it's a standard practice, and I preach that we do the undercutting after the form is established. So because this form's gone up and down, if we'd undercut early on, we'd not be changing the profile edge. So just clean that away up to the edge here. And with that, the flower, or the sample flower, is finished. To get into here, by the way, I'll just mention that what's really good, if I can find it on my bench, it's run away, where are you? Is a skew chisel. So you might get a skew chisel in here. So these have become more difficult to get at once we've got other flowers around, but for the moment we'll just clean up in there as well. Here's the sample flower completed. What I suggest is that you do several of these and ring the changes.